So I know you have this visual economy report that came out a couple of weeks ago. Give us some highlights as to what surprised you, what you gleaned from that research.
Yes, the visual economy report was something that we kicked off because we're really interested, particularly in how visual communication was being used in large businesses and really global businesses. So we went and talked to over 1,000 different business leaders all around the world and asked them about how design and visual communication were affecting their businesses. We had some great stats come out of it. Over 90% of leaders thought that visual communication was increasing the efficiency within their companies.
A
89%
picture's
of the
worth 1,000 words, right?
picture, yeah, and often it's worth more than 1,000 words. 89% of them thought that it was enhancing their collaboration, and 85% felt that it carried more authority when they're talking externally through marketing, as well as through internal communications as well, like when you're doing a presentation to your teammates, etc. I think what was really interesting to us from out of that was how much visual communication is also a generational thing. So Gen Z and even Gen Alpha are really picking up on it and becoming
Is
more
Gen
connected.
Alpha, what age is Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha, I think, is probably like 10 to 20 now.
Ah,
Uh,
okay. I'm
wasn't
Gen
wasn't
X, so it's like,
wasn't it
eh.
wasn't a huge part of the visual economy report, but it's something we're starting to see come through, particularly through our education product, which gets used in a lot of classrooms all around the world. But yeah, Gen Z and millennials are particularly tapped into visual communication, and tools like Canva are just hugely allowing them to have a greater impact and work in a way that's much more native to them, that's more familiar, that enables them to then be more productive.
So, Cameron, I want to turn the spotlight a bit on you because I was intrigued by some of the investments you've made. Like, I guess a company that created a digital version, a digital farm. I mean, you've got your own, investments you've made in startups. What's intriguing to you? What gets your attention right now?
Yeah, so my wife and I are really keen to be able to use the really great luck that we've managed to have with Canva to have a positive impact on the world. And to us, the natural world, biodiversity, the environment are hugely important for the
That's what
future of
you're
the
in
planet.
Tasmania, one of the most, ecologically interesting parts of the world.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world that has so many endemic species, really different ecosystems, and in some ways, it's a real capsule that isn't replicated anywhere else in the world. So being there has rekindled our love for nature and really how it impacts us as humans. It's often easy to forget how much we rely on ecosystem services when you're living in a big city where you don't see many trees every day, and it takes you 2 hours to get out into the wild. But being in Tasmania has given us so much more access to that and really fueled our thoughts around the amplification and the kind of levers that we can use to help that world, sometimes through tech, sometimes through better land management practices. But that's where we're focusing on investing. And that tool that you mentioned, Agronomy, they help landowners map their land through LiDAR mapping and get a real deep understanding that you don't just get through satellite imagery. So understanding soil health, tree height, the number of trees on your property, where the water flows across your property, where erosion might be happening, the different types of species that might be inhabiting different parts of your property, and how you might be able to help them out. So it ties into not only really great regenerative agriculture, but also conservation and better understanding of biodiversity. And it just ticks all the right boxes for us.